Madam Ambassador, thank you for this interview and for being with us tonight.
Well, it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
We conclude the 2 days of events under the umbrella of the 3 Seas initiative here in Bucharest. What is your assessment on the results of all these meetings, many I suppose you've had in this couple of days?
You know, I think it's been an incredible success. I think this is the coming out party for the 3 Seas initiative in terms of it scaling up. We're at that point where I think the world has recognized that the region, which is over 100 million people, highly educated, very motivated workforce. Your GDP in the region is twice, you're growing at twice the rate of the West. And so this becomes a very, very interesting region for investment. And the key to the 3 Seas initiative is the public-private partnership part of it. And I think we're going to see now, it is kind of, we've spent a few years really maturing, and we are at that point where the world is now recognizing the 3 Seas region. We added another country in the last 2 days. We had 12, we now have 13 with Greece. Realize how the opportunities for investment here, and I think that is the biggest thing that's come out of this the last 2 days.
What would you say would be the most urgent and perhaps the most advanced project under the 3 Seas initiative after the talks you've had?
Well, you know, I'm not in a position to judge the different projects there, and there are many, because the region really needs $1 trillion worth of investment to bring the infrastructure up to standards of the West. But you've made incredible progress since the Iron Curtains come down. So, but let me just say this. The projects that are here are very, very interesting projects because they're cross-border. Again, 100 million people in the region, so you have the opportunity to attract private sector investment because you will have the growth, the GDP growth, to attract that kind of investment because you can give a return, the kind of returns on investment that investors are looking for. And really right now this region may be the most dynamic region for that.
Obviously, the topics and the meetings were framed by the events on the border with the war going on in Ukraine. President Zelensky addressed the Leaders' Summit online, and his country, as well as Moldova, were invited as assistant participants. How can the 3 Seas initiative help or maybe get involved in the efforts of managing the effects of this war?
Well, obviously, you are on the front line. The 3 Seas countries are really the natural front line of this war. And as a result, I think the 3 Seas countries and the region will be naturally first in line to really to work on the rebuilding of Ukraine. And it's only natural because you have so much in common. And so I was thrilled that Moldova and Ukraine became associated with the 3 Seas initiative because they are anchors also in the region. And it only makes sense that what the region is doing in terms of attracting private sector investment, that would only go hand in hand with rebuilding Ukraine as well.
As a former ambassador to Poland, you've been involved in strengthening the American military presence in the region, which is essential for the security on the eastern flank of NATO. How do you see the security challenges now with the war going on? Can United States, NATO be even more involved with the security of the allies here with the war on the border?
Well, you know, the 3 Cs countries are the eastern flank of NATO. And not just because of the threat of Russia, but also because the 3 Cs countries are the gateway for China into the West. So the security is critical for the world, quite frankly. And one thing that's been, I think, a lot of people don't know, is that the 3 Cs countries, Greece, Romania, Poland, are investing heavily in their own security. They are paying actually more than their 2% to NATO. They're one of the few countries in NATO that are actually beyond the 2% in investing in the security of the region. So I think it's going to be strong. The United States appreciates that these are important allies for us. Being the eastern flank of NATO, Romania, Poland, very important allies, and because of that gateway from China and trying to push back on the China Belt and Road, this is where it's happening. So that security piece is playing a big role here.
As an ambassador to Poland, you also worked and helped a lot with the process of adding Poland to the visa waiver program. It's an objective that Romania is still struggling to achieve. Do you have any recommendations, any lessons for us to learn on the matter?
Well, let me just say that I've had a long conversation with our U.S. ambassador here, Romania. She's very, very talented. She's reached out. I've certainly gone through the steps that we did in Poland. It's very complicated. The one aspect is getting Romanians to go in and apply for a visa so we can get the refusal rate down. But I know that the U.S. ambassador here is very focused on it and is very, very capable. So and we're in touch, and I'm certainly and anything I can do. But this is clearly specific steps that have to be taken, and it is complicated. But I'm very confident that Romania will get into visa waiver sooner or later.
We certainly hope so, Madam Ambassador. Thank you very much for your time and for this interview.
Thank you.